The Ten Commandments are among the most important teachings found in the Bible. They were given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai after the Israelites were freed from slavery in Egypt. In the Catholic tradition, the Ten Commandments are seen as moral laws that guide human behavior and help people live according to God's will. Although these commandments were given thousands of years ago, their meaning and relevance remain very important in modern society. The story of the Ten Commandments is found in the book of Exodus, Exodus 22, 1-17, and also in Deuteronomy. After leading the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses went up Mount Sinai to meet God. There, God gave him the commandments written on stone tablets. These laws were meant to guide the people of Israel in their relationship with God and with one another. In the Catholic Church, the Ten Commandments are understood as the foundation of moral life. The first three commandments focus on the relationship between humans and God. The first commandment states, "I am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange gods before me." This commandment reminds believers that God should always come first in their lives. In today's world, people may not worship idols made of stone, but they can place other things above God, such as money, fame, or power. Catholics are called to remain faithful to God and trust Him above everything else. The second commandment teaches, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain." This means that God's name must be treated with respect. In modern life, this commandment reminds people to avoid using God's name carelessly or disrespectfully. It encourages believers to speak about God with reverence and sincerity. The third commandment says, "Remember to keep holy the Sabbath day." For Catholics, this means attending Mass on Sunday and setting aside time to worship God and rest. In a busy modern society, where people are often focused on work and technology, this commandment reminds believers to pause, pray, and reconnect with God and family. The remaining 7 commandments focus on relationships between people. The fourth commandment says, "Honor your father and your mother." This teaching encourages respect for parents and family life. Even today, this commandment promotes strong families and reminds children to show gratitude and obedience to their parents. The fifth commandment states, "You shall not kill." In Catholic teaching, this commandment protects the dignity of human life. It teaches that every life is sacred because it is created by God. Today, this commandment reminds believers to promote peace, avoid violence, and respect life from conception to natural death. The sixth commandment says, "You shall not commit adultery." This commandment protects the sacredness of marriage and fidelity between spouses. In modern society, where relationships can sometimes be treated lightly, the Church continues to teach the importance of faithful and loving commitment within marriage. The seventh commandment states, "You shall not steal." This commandment encourages honesty and respect for other people's property. Lying, gossip, and spreading false information can harm others and destroy trust. In the modern era of social media and fast communication, this commandment reminds believers to be responsible and truthful in what they say and share. The ninth commandment warns against coveting another person's spouse. While the 10th commandment warns against coveting another person's possessions, these commandments focus on the desires of the heart. They teach that sin often begins with unhealthy desires such as jealousy, envy, and greed. In a consumer-driven society where people are constantly encouraged to want more, these commandments encourage gratitude and contentment. In Catholic teaching, the 10 Commandments are not just rules meant to restrict people. Instead, they are a guide to living a good and holy life. Jesus himself affirmed their importance. In the Gospel, when asked about the greatest commandment, Jesus taught that all the commandments are fulfilled through love of God and love of neighbor, Matthew 22:37-40. Today, the 10 Commandments continue to serve as a moral compass for Catholics around the world. They help believers make wise decisions, build strong relationships, and live in harmony with God and others. Even in a rapidly changing world, the timeless wisdom of these commandments reminds humanity that true freedom and happiness come from living according to God's truth and love. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video.